we finally listened to this voice note that Utobile accused Makhumalo of spreading throughout the Duma family. Now, Macele explained that she, as a wife, she could not be able to invite the Duma family through the men, hence why she had to speak to their wives. And because there were many of them, that is why she decided to do a voice note. And in the voice note, you hear her basically inviting them to the Mseleku house. But if you look nicely on that voice note, I don't know whether it was editing or they did that deliberately for us as the audience to see what they were trying to do. Or because when you play a voice note, right? The voice note, you can see where it starts and where it stops. You can also see where it starts and where it ends. Now, where it stopped was in the middle of the voice notes, so we didn't hear the other part. So I don't know whether that was what was told that Macele to play, and she didn't play the full part, or maybe they heard the full part but they just could not play the whole part, and the editors decided to do that deliberately for us, the audience, to see that there was more being said on the voice note. But anyway, Macele stood up and she left because she said she's not going to be dictated by a wife to do something when she actually had no business doing. Now, this is what actually happened. Usamke, from what Umusa told us, was lobolad in 2023. He told the rest of his family that he lobolad this woman. So the rest of the family meeting Usamke was not them meeting a girlfriend. They were coming to meet a wife. And they were basically supposed to celebrate her, hence why she was being welcomed in the Mzumbe homestead. Now, the reason why the wives were against it is because in their head, they thought that Usamke has not been lobolad, because how can she be lobolad when we haven't accepted her? So that's why they were against her even coming in the homestead, because she's not a wife. But unfortunately, Umusa did things oppositely, and this is where the whole issue and the whole problem lies. Is because Umusa created this mess. He created this lie. He's told certain people, he's not told certain people, and now it's just a big fat mess. And that is why Macele stood up and she said, I'm leaving, because if I have to speak, it means that I'm going to be saying things which I have no business to be talking about. You're supposed to be hearing it from your husband, not me. And that is why she left. Now, Makhumalo knew that. Makhumalo knew that her poking the bear, which was Macele, meant that she can be able to get the truth from her. Because Makhumalo knows that Macele knows a lot. You see her subtle shade where she reminds Macele that she's met up with Usamke, that she saw Usamke leave with Macele, that Usamke comes to her home from time to time, And where does she hear all of this from? Drum roll, please, Umusa. I've said this before that Makhumalo played this wife that yes, Baba, because she knew that when it's time for pillow talk, because Umusa viewed Makhumalo like his best friend, right? Then Umusa can say whatever he says. Makhumalo does not necessarily say, hey, Musa, how can you do that, or hold against him? But she remembers everything. That is the reason why when they went to the hospital and Macele squeezed Usamke in, Makhumalo did not necessarily see that. But when she went in, she most likely saw that Umusa was in a good mood. So she most likely asked Umusa how. And then, in her joking way. And because Umusa knew that she did not have a problem with number 5, he probably told her that, yeah, Macele did such a good thing. She brought Usamke here, and I was so happy to see her, and she played along. Aibo, you saw a baby, knowing very well that when she went home and she phoned her sisters, she was like, "Hi, bo, hey, bo, I was at the hospital and Umus was telling me that Usamke came with Umacele." And the sisters were like, "Hi, bo, how did they meet? This is interesting." They had a full conversation about it, and she remembered it. The fact that Umacele invited Usamke to the homestead of her homestead, invited her family, the kids saw. This was most likely told by Umpilo to Makhumalo. But I'm sure during pillow talk, Musa told Makhumalo about that. And once again, Makhumalo was like, "Oh, nice thing to do." Pretended because she still wanted to be in the loop. And that is where I say that is one thing Makhumalo did very well, is she played the game. Or else Musa knew that he could never be able to say a lot of things to Umayeni or to even Umangwabe, because he knew that they're very sensitive. They would obviously shout at him, or they would pack their bags and leave like they've already done before. Umayeni, for example. So for Umakumalo was always viewed as his best friend. So she knew a lot of secrets of Umusa because she wanted to be in the loop. She wanted to know. So all these things that she says is things that Umusa's told her, but she can't be able to technically confront Macele about it, because Macele is going to be like, "Hey, we're going to speak to your man about it." So she says it subtly. And she says it subtly for the other wives to also pick up what she's saying. But also, she says it because these are the only moments she actually has the liver to ask Macele about. And obviously, when you're having a confrontation with someone's going to want to rectify things. So they end up saying more than they're supposed to be saying. Makubalo is very strategic and very manipulative, if I have to say as well. And we're not able to see her and her game. But overall, the sad reality is she's been playing all these years thinking that these other wives are actually going to be able to play her game for her. And Umusa said, "Time's up on this game. I'm tired. I'm not doing it." And now she's woken up at the wrong time. And you know why? It's because even though she's wife number 3, technically she's the last born because she's the youngest. And she's always had that in her, that she's the youngest wife of Umusa. Now a young, fresh thing is coming into the picture. And remember, out of all these wives, Umakumalo does not have a child with Umusa. So technically, if there's someone who's housed or she feels threatened, is Umakumalo. These other wives are saying things which are like petty. But to be honest, if there's one home which feels threatened, is Umakumalo. Because if it's a new wife coming in, if she's younger than her by 15 years, that means that, she's a spring chicken who's very fertile. Which we are hearing that she's already pregnant. And imagine how Umakumalo feels, because besides the fact that all these years she's been trying to have a child through other ways and Musa's refused, and now he's sick. So technically his sperm is not even healthy enough to actually do this insemination. But I definitely do feel that she's realized, being this woman who accepts everything and even accepts things because she's trying to build relationship with certain people, aka Macele, and she realizes it does nothing for her. That's the reason why she never attend her wedding. But Unfortunately, Makhumalo got her voice late. And let's just hope that she's able to simmer down, honestly. Otherwise, I won't be surprised that Makhumalo is actually the woman who leaves. Anyway, do comment down below your thoughts. We have come to the end of today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that post notification bell down below. Till next time, love and light. Bye.